Hey guys, this is OddOneGaming. This is going to be another Dragonheir SilentGods video. In today's video, I want to talk about the dungeons that we have in Season 4 and which one should be your priorities, right? Pretty much in every single season, I go through the dungeons, I look at the gear that we can get, I look at the benefits, the good thing, the bad thing, and all of that stuff. And I do make, like every season, a video on this one. I don't remember if I did one last season where I just played for 25 days of Season 4, but still, I decided to be like, you know what, I'm gonna make a video talking about this because it might help some of you out there, and most of the time I get good feedback on these videos because it kind of gives the people watching, right, an idea of what they should be focusing their resources on and what not to. So I'm just gonna briefly talk about something else before that, and that's the fact that, like, you should be saving your stamina pretty much, and that's what I think this is pretty much what I'm gonna put on the thumbnail of, like, save your stamina, don't waste it on wrong areas. So the first thing that I want to mention a little bit is don't go be using all of your bread early, right? Don't use this, just save it. That's my opinion, right? If you're gonna use it, the only spot that you are efficiently farming early on, right, the maximum of your stamina possible, is gonna be the domains, right? Because only in the domains you can get the maximum result or the maximum reward based on your stamina, right? Because once you hit stage 5, you can straight up be, you can farm stage 5 as much as you want because the rewards are gonna be the same. The rewards from the mains, they're not gonna grow, right? They're gonna be the same for as long as, you play the whole season. But if we're talking about something else like the goblin, for example, well, we only have goblins where to, at least, at this stage. So I would be wasting stamina farming goblin like crazy if I would just pop it, because I can only farm stage 2 right now. Whereas if I wait till I hit level 28, right, when this one opens, then I can farm the maximum, hopefully, the maximum stage of goblin 3. That's only when I should be going crazy on goblin farming. Again, this is my opinion, trying to present this as when you're trying to farm as efficiently as possible, that's what you should do. So that's when it comes to the domains, that's the goblin. And then the next thing is obviously going to be the gear and the runes dungeons. Well, the most efficient time for you to farm this is obviously if you're going to have one of these events, right, Fortune Seeker or whatever, you're going to farm because you want to get the rewards. But apart from that, pretty much this is what I'm going to do, and most of you should do as well. Most of us should just wait till day 30, right, unless they introduce the change that they have in season 1 where it doesn't matter, when you farm the highest stage you get the same rewards. But in this season, at least, we still have the same thing, right? 18 days till we get the equipment drop rate up. That's when, like, it doubles the chance of getting better stuff and whatnot. So I'm not going to be going crazy on equipment up until this happens, right? Now, since we got on the subject of equipment, let's talk about what should be your priority dungeons, right? What's the best dungeon to farm this season? Because we have the usual, right? We have Grave of Venom, we have Grave of Curse, then we have the Grave of Rot, and obviously we're gonna have the Heretical Ruins and the Ancient Battlefield once that opens. Now, when it comes to these two, I'm gonna briefly talk about the Heretical Ruins and the Ancient Battlefield. These are kind of like, maybe, let's say, priority number 2, not necessarily number 1, right? Because you're always gonna need positive runes, negative runes for your people, so these are gonna be kind of like same spot, same priority. But as soon as you get the stuff that you need for your, your best teams, you're gonna pretty much stop. But still, these are gonna be priority number 2. Now, priority number 1 is a little bit of a tricky, and I guess it's a little bit different depending on what you can farm first. But I think I'm still going to stick with my opinion that I always say, that the Grave of Venom is always going to be priority number 1, right? Grave of Venom, because it gives you the damage sets. You're going to need to build more damage dealers during the season than anything else, and this is where we have the best type of sets, right? We have this set that's basically for straight up damage dealer that gives you more, more crit damage. The more crit damage you do, the more damage you're going to do. Then we have the second set. This one's more focused around attack speed. This is going to be something that I'm going to be hunting like a maniac, right? Because I have Ozul and he's all about basic attacks, and most of the shadow people are the same. So this is the perfect set for people that have good stuff happening or good synergy with their basic attacks. So shadow teams, dauntless teams, right? This is where it's at. Then the next one, this one's a bit more quirky one, the attack and skill haste. This is for, I guess, more like debuffers that you want to do damage, because you want that skill haste, but at the same time, this gives you damage boost up to 20%. I've not personally tested it. Maybe I'm going to do right later in the season. I'm going to do comparison for some of my teams and see which one's the best one. And then the last one's going to be straight up if you're looking for damage that's derivative damage, the usual unclean bloodline. However, the best thing that this area has is this one over here, right? The wearer deals 35% increased damage to enemies with defense penalty, and in every single fight in the game you're gonna wanna have defense penalty, right? You're gonna have Witch's Remains, you're gonna have that shell, or you're gonna have the, what's it called, the Crown of the Unclean, but pretty much everybody should have Witch's Remains if you're in Season 4. If not, you've been extremely unlucky, right? So this one's just massive. 35% damage boost is just insane. However, for a team like me that uses Shadow, this one's also amazing, because the wearer deals 35% increased damage, receives 35% increased ultimate up, but endures 50% decreased recharging speed. Well, this does not count for Shadow, right? This does not affect the what's it called, the boosting of my Shadow team, so this is just perfect. I'm not 100% sure if it affects people with Aura. Like, I'm gonna test that out. Let me know if you already done it, but I think this should work for Aura as well, right? Because they don't boost up ultimate energy, they boost up that what's it called, Blaze, right? So these two are just amazing. Obviously there's some quirky stuff that you can do with this one over here as well. The wearer obtains additional attack speed for every one skill haste, right? There's some quirky stuff you can do to boost. So pretty much 3 out of the 4 are perfect. Even the 4th one, if you're somebody that cares about Arena, this is just amazing. So that's why Grave of Venom is still gonna be #1. And once you start farming, which I suggest to wait till the double rate up is, this is where you should be going crazy on farming gear. Now, if we move over to the Grave of Curse, I guess this is going to be 2nd or 3rd priority, or 1st, if you can farm this easier than Grave of Venom. This one's pretty powerful as well, because first of all, we have the Ancestral Protection, straight up, you know, damage mitigation for your team and for the wearer. He soaks up some of the damage that everybody else takes, so this is going to be amazing for your tanks, right? Somebody like an Ardreth, Fruitbat, Garius, whoever, or even like tanky healers, they can wear the Ancestral Protection. This is a perfect set. Now, the second one, I'm not a big fan of this one, but I guess this one can work as well, right? The Hope of Oasis gives you skill haste and HP. Also, when the wearer's HP is higher than 60%, reduces the damage taken by 25%. So, as an example, this could be a really interesting set if you can afford, obviously, based on all the cool stuff that we have. This is an interesting set as an example for Vortex, right? For the person that takes a single target hit, right? He or she should be pretty tanky. They should have 60%, over 60% HP. And when they take that hit, reducing 25% of that damage is massive, right? So this one can be a really good one. So as an example, for my team, let's say on my tank on Ardreth, if I would have Ardreth, she would be wearing this one, and then my healer would be wearing the Ancestral Protection, you know, pretty much sharing that damage. So both of the sets really good. The third one, again, amazing set for your debuffer. So in my case, I'm playing with Shadow. I have Taldi that has my Witch's Remains because they do it so fast. And then because they do it so fast, basically every 10 seconds, Taldi does the ultimate, which means I'm gonna always have attack up. Because this one, whenever the wearer successfully inflicts a debuff, doesn't have to be with the ultimate, keep that in mind. When they inflict with the debuff, all allies gain an additional 15% attack up, right? 15% attack up with HP and skill haste. This is an amazing set. Again, all 3 of these sets are just perfect, right? Just perfect. And then if we're looking at the mythic gear, well, this one is a bit quirky. When the wearer gains a buff, there's a 50% chance the buff to be undispellable. It's kind of like meh, not the best. However, this one is just it can be game breaking, right? It's got here, it's insane. Basically what this one does, there's a 50% chance for the wearer to grant 15% increased healing and shield effects, right? Imagine this when you set it up with an Ardreth with a Garius. Have this on a Garius with Ardreth passive, you're gonna have insane shields, you're just never gonna die, right? So again, this one's a pretty amazing one that you're gonna be wanting to farm. At least, you know, having like a few copies for your healers, for your tanks, you know, of shielders, whatever. So far, basically, 4 out of the 5 from this dungeon are just amazing. Now, let's move over to the last one, which, honestly, I might be wrong. Let me know in the comments down below if you think I'm wrong or not, but I don't think I'm even going to farm, unless I need it for an event. I don't think I'm going to farm Grave of Rot this season, because it just, all the sets seem meh. From my point of view, right? They seem mad. They have some quirky niche uses, but apart from that, I don't think people should be farming this one much, right? Let's look why. So first set is Power of Tides. Gives you accuracy and resist, maybe for the stats, right? Okay, but apart from that, the 3-piece effect, when the wearer deals damage, there's a 75% chance to inflict silence for 6 seconds. This only takes effect once every 8 seconds. It's a pretty decent chance, but it's only 6 seconds. It's just silence. They still do basic attacks. You'd rather have Holy Hunter, which we also have. So this one I'm not too impressed by. Then the second one, this one I guess could have some uses, but are you gonna have enough spots? So this one is gives you skill, haste, and accuracy. I really like this the previous season. After casting an ultimate skill, the wearer heals the ally with the current lowest HP by 15% max HP. So this one could be good. Maybe this one's good, right? Maybe I'm too harsh, but maybe this could be good when we get to Otherworld Exploration, when we're gonna have the Chaos Shadow bosses, right? You might have teams where you don't have perfect healers. This set can be a good top-up healing set. But if I'm talking, for example, for something like a Vortex, I'm trying to think, let's say I'm gonna have at least 2 damage dealers, right? At least 2 damage dealers. Then I'm gonna have 3 supports, right? My 3 supports should at least all have sets from the Grave of Curse, right? Because I'm definitely gonna want to have Ancestral Protection in my team. I'm definitely gonna want to have the attack boost from Cyril's Whisper, and then there's a high chance I'm gonna want to have this on my tank or whoever's gonna take my single target hit, so they don't die too fast. So 3 from here, 2 from Grave of Venom. What do I need? Am I gonna need anything from Rot? No, really. So this one, maybe, like I said, endgame could be viable, and same principle with the Holy Hunter. This one, again, not a big fan. Maybe when I get to the high stages of Fey Meander and I get stuck, I cannot quite kill stuff over there, this one can be powerful because, you know what, somebody like a Voresh that does full board triple hits, every time he does the hit, he has a chance to stun. So this one, I guess, can have Fey Meander or Pillar of Trials can have a use in that one. So this season, Grave of Wrath is more niche, right? Not the best. Even when we're talking about these ones, like, I'm not a big fan. The mythic pieces of gear, so the chest, the wearer is immune to coming stun, but each second of that stun duration reduces their ultimate energy. I guess this could have what's it called? Ancient Battlefield use, right? You put this on the person that's furthest. When they take the stun, they do not actually get stunned, but they lose some ultimate energy. So niche over there. Then the next one, the wearer has an additional 50% chance of dispelling 1 buff from the enemy when they inflict debuffs. Who would you really want this on? And honestly, you would prefer to have some, you'd prefer to have a debuff, like a Victor. I just made a video on yesterday on Victor. Just have the Victor in this team and you don't really care about this, because Victor removes everything on the battle skill. And actually, there's even good rares that can do this. So again, another set that I would not worry about. Next one, the wearer dispels 1 debuff from themselves when they cast their ultimate skill. Where would I care again? Tell me, maybe I'm wrong again, maybe I'm wrong. Where would I care about just having 1 debuff dispelled from me when I cast my ultimate? Maybe in Vortex, do I want to dispel the defense penalty? But this is only the wearer, so I would prefer to have somebody that brings AoE dispelling, right? So single target, not as good. And then the last one, 20% of the damage dealt by the wearer will be converted to healing when HP is below 50%. So not only is it weak, but it's also conditional, only 50%. So I don't know, I just feel like Grave of Wrath is just, you make up farm 100 runs maybe towards the end game and then just pretty much ignore it. Like, that's why I didn't even care about trying to push this one, right? All the other dungeons I got to stage 8 where I stopped. I'm gonna do stage 9 once I can hit level 100, but then Grave of Wrath, I'm just at 6. I didn't even beat 7 because I don't care about it. I'm not gonna farm it anytime soon, so that's what I'm gonna leave it at. But what do you guys think? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? What do you think? And also let me know, what will you be farming this season as a priority for your dungeons. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it at this for today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, consider liking it, subscribing to the channel to see when I upload next, and gonna see you on the next one. Peace, love, take care everyone. Bye guys.